States. Containment breach has and then now the signature your containment breach, residence containment breach, imagine emergency
Welcome to the Red Plaid Files, where we dig beneath the surface of high-profile crimes and expose the choices that change everything. In this episode, Wendi's 5 Fatal Mistakes, we dissect the pivotal moments that turned Wendi Adelson's life from academia to infamy. Through rare footage, testimony, and insider analysis, we break down the missteps that entangled her deeper into the fallout of Dan Markel's murder, a case defined by deception, coincidence, and consequence. Buckle up, because this isn't just a retelling, it's a forensic unravelling of how one woman's decisions became the most haunting evidence of all. The prison doors are closing in on Wendi Adelson, not with the clang of metal and keys, but with the slow tightening of evidence, testimony, and time. Each trial in the Markel case has pushed the circle closer, each conviction another lock clicking into place around her carefully maintained freedom. While she still walks outside, the gravity of those courtroom verdicts against her brother, her mother, and the friends who once carried out the family's darkest wish has left her standing alone beneath a shadow she can no longer outrun. Piece by piece, the walls are building themselves, and if the past decade has shown anything, it's that justice doesn't close in fast, it inevitably closes in. Number 1. On the day Dan Markel was murdered, Wendi Adelson's frantic concern over a broken TV seemed baffling at best and suspicious at worst. A 35-year-old attorney, intelligent and composed by nature, suddenly fixated on repairing something described as irreparable, a detail that later sounded eerily symbolic. Her boyfriend Jeff Lacoste even offered to buy her a new television, an offer she turned down. In the context of what investigators now believe was coded language, the so-called TV may have represented something far more sinister, confirmation that the murder plot was complete. Calling Charlie that day to discuss an unfixable television felt less like an innocent sisterly chat and more like a veiled check-in on a crime in motion. Whether coincidence or code, it remains one of the most chillingly cryptic moments in the timeline of Dan Markel's death. Number 2. For Wendi Adelson, that dinner with Charlie, Catherine Katie Magbanua, and Jeff Lacoste was more than an awkward social gathering. It was a public relations disaster waiting to happen. Sitting at a restaurant table with her brother, later convicted as the mastermind of her ex-husband's murder, his girlfriend, who served as the middle link between the Adelsons and the hitmen, and her own then boyfriend, a man she'd told police was helping her heal, turned what might have been a casual meal into a real-life exhibit of poor judgment. The optics were explosive. 4 people connected through love, lies, and a homicide investigation, sharing appetizers under soft lighting. No matter what was said that night, that image alone blurred the line between innocence and complicity, and for Wendi, whose credibility was already under a microscope, it was a table she should never have joined. Number 3. It was a disastrous idea for Wendi Adelson to pose for a beach photo with Catherine Katie Magbanua, a picture that would one day haunt her far more than she could have imagined. At the time, it may have seemed harmless, a casual snapshot between friends, tied only by her brother Charlie. But in the years that followed, as Magbanua was convicted as the go-between in Dan Markel's murder, that single image morphed into damning symbolism. A frozen moment linking Wendi directly to the woman who connected her family to the killers. No courtroom evidence has ever placed Wendi in the plot, yet that smiling photo did something no document could. It blurred the boundaries between association and involvement, transforming what looked like friendship into the most incriminating kind of coincidence. Number 4. Driving down Trescott Drive on the very day Dan Markel was murdered was one of Wendi Adelson's most fateful missteps, an act that may have been coincidence but looked like choreography. To investigators, it didn't matter whether she was lost, curious, or following routine. The optics were catastrophic. Her mere presence near the crime scene, as police cars swarmed and neighbours discovered her ex-husband's body, shattered any illusion of distance from the event. That route, she later claimed, was a coincidence. But in the court of public opinion, it became something closer to a confession in motion. A drive that couldn't be justified, a coincidence too perfect, and a decision that made an already suspicious timeline look downright orchestrated. Number 5. For Wendi Adelson, buying a bottle of bullet bourbon on the very day Dan Markel was shot twice in the head was a stunning lapse in judgment, one that turned an ordinary purchase into a haunting metaphor. To anyone aware of the case, the eerie coincidence between the brand's name and the method of his murder was impossible to ignore. Whether it was an innocent errand or a nervous distraction, the optics were devastating. It seemed tone-deaf at best, sinister at worst. In a narrative already thick with suspicion and symbolic irony, that purchase became another piece of circumstantial theatre, proof that sometimes even the smallest choices can echo louder than any alibi. After back-to-back trials and the stunning convictions of Charlie and Donna Adelson, the prosecution team has finally earned a long strategic pause, a calm before what could be the final storm in the Dan Markel case. Behind the scenes, sources suggest that investigators aren't stepping away but rather gathering strength and refining the last pieces of their puzzle. With mounting digital evidence, witness cooperation, and a clearer timeline of Wendi Adelson's actions, whispers around Tallahassee hint that spring 2026 may bring her long-anticipated indictment. If that moment arrives, it will signal not just another chapter, but the culmination of a decade-long pursuit of accountability in one of Florida's most tangled murder conspiracies. If you've been following the dark twists and revelations of the Dan Markel saga, now's the time to dig even deeper. Join the Red Plaid Files for exclusive episodes that go beyond the headlines. Each installment unpacks the hidden connections, courtroom drama, and shocking truths the mainstream coverage misses. From fresh witness leaks to forensic breakthroughs, the Red Plaid Files takes you exactly where justice and intrigue collide. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and step into the investigation, because the story isn't over and the next revelation is coming soon.